You can file a bias incident report with just the click of a button. More information coming up.
Plus, there's still some stigma about seeking help for mental health issues. I spoke to one specific group that faces extra hurdles.
Not everyone can be a D1 athlete. How to play your favorite sport coming up.
Later in sports, we tell you how our basketball teams are preparing for the Southern Conference Tournament.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Nightly News. I'm your host, Alyssa Hildenbrandt. Let's get right into our first story. Mental health. I'm sure many of you have dealt with mental health or know someone who has. Jalen Livingston held a CLP to have a discussion about Black men and mental health in particular. Elijah Poritzky has that story.
Yes, Alyssa. I attended the I Feel You Black Man CLP and got an exclusive interview with Jalen Livingston, the creator of the event.
So I Feel You Black Man is a COP event slash discussion where run by Xi Omega chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated here at Furman University, where me and my pole mark, Miles Baker, are interested in hearing and showcasing what it's like for Black men on Furman's campus to talk about their challenges and experiences while being at a predominantly white institution.
A panel of 4 students discussed their experiences and took questions from the audience.
You have to have that strong foundation, you have to have a strong frame, strong set of morals, so that you find the people you can hang around with, be vulnerable with, and you can grow and prosper. Because if you don't have that, you'll wither, and you won't enjoy your time here. So.
The first question I always get is not what are you planning to major in or why'd you choose Furman, but what sport do you play? What position do you play? And still to this day, I get that same question at Furman and around the Greenville community, or even away from Furman.
It never hurts to, ask, like, are you okay? And, maybe ask a second time, are you really okay?
Kobe Frimpong is a first year from Ghana. He shared his personal experience.
I always have to put in much effort into how I act around white people to make them feel very, comfortable around me, because there are some books I have read that are like, that I don't know how true it is, but then, once you read it, it always sticks in your mind, and then it has to do with the author saying that there are white people who are kind of scared of Black people. So whenever I'm around these people, I'm always thinking, are they scared of me? Are they judging me? What do they think about me?
For his part, Jalen plans to continue to try and raise awareness through events and discussions like this.
But this is more than just a CLP event. It sheds light on the extra pressure that our Black male students feel on our campus. Reporting for the Nightly News, I'm Elijah Poritzky.
Wow, impactful story there, Elijah. If you or someone you know is struggling, please contact the Counseling Center at 864-294-3031. If you faced a biased incident on campus, would you know how to report it? In the forums held last semester, we discovered that many of you don't. So Ella Grogan went around campus to help educate you on how to file one.
Yes, Alyssa, I went to a panel about bias incident reports so that you didn't have to. I then went around campus and asked students what they know about bias incident reports and was able to educate them, and now you. All right, Lauren, do you know what a bias incident report is?
No.
All right, Samantha, so tell me, do you know what a bias incident report is on Furman's campus?
No. No, I do not.
I do not. All right, Callie, do you know how to submit a bias incident report?
No.
Do you want me to show you how?
I'd love to.
Bias incidents are any conduct that serves no scholarly purpose and demonstrates prejudice or intolerance against an individual or group. We sat down and I walked Callie through the steps and options of submitting a bias incident report. Here's how. First, you can search Furman Bias Incident Report or locate it on the Furman website. The website will explain what an incident is, who the reporter team is, and different ways to submit a report. The easiest way is to select the online report document form and fill out the information seen here. It is important to note this can be anonymous. This will be submitted to the report team and they will look into it. Steps taken will be based on the situation. Every situation is different and requires a different approach. For more information or to file a report, please go to the Furman Bias Incident Response and Support tab on the Furman website. For Nightly News, I'm Ella Grogan. Back to you, Alyssa.
Thank you, Ella, for that valuable information. If you feel that you have experienced a bias incident, please do not hesitate to follow the instructions Ella has provided for us. Furman's TEDx conference has been virtual for the past 2 years, but this year, the 10th annual TEDx conference took place right here on campus, so I marked the spot where creators shared their journey.
Man, our rendition of TEDx here at Furman, we brought in speakers from both around campus, around Greenville, and around America to come speak about big ideas that matter.
Furman student Grace Mills was a co-organizer of the event.
TED in general is to promote ideas worth spreading. That's their motto. So TEDx, the X stands for independently organized. So it's student run, different organizations not really affiliated with TED run. So it allows students, at least in our case, to promote ideas that they're passionate about and just promote learning and community engagement.
Furman's TEDx event is a part of the TEDx franchise where 7 speakers shared their innovative journeys and what it took to fulfill their dreams. Furman student Isaiah Ives spoke about his journey of building bridges.
My TEDx speech was about a collection of model bridges I constructed out of Connect's building toys.
Here on Earth, you're going to build walls around your passions, hopes, and desires. But it's how you react to those challenges, those walls. You need to build bridges over them rather than be obstructed by them.
And I talked a lot about my experiences in constructing them, bringing my idea to life, and the things I learned about what it takes to do such a thing, particularly in terms of perseverance and believing in oneself and one's vision and dream, despite maybe discouragement being found elsewhere in the world.
We had 7 total speakers, so 2 students, 1 professor, and 4 outside speakers.
Other speakers had the chance to share their journeys as well, with some of them even doing interactive activities with the audience.
Maybe under the harsh brightness of the stage lights, we realized that we were up there to talk about something that was meaningful to ourselves rather than what we thought would be meaningful to everyone else. And once we all realized that, it was breezy.
I think it's important that Furman has a TED event because there's, to my knowledge, no big schools in this region that have one. So I think it's really cool that a small school like Furman can organize such a big event, and it fosters a lot of community engagement, and we bring in a lot of outside people. It just brings in other communities to Greenville and allows our organization and the students that come to the event to interact with those people.
As you can see, Furman's TEDx event is filled with tales of perseverance and innovation. If you would like to speak at next year's event, go to the TEDx Furman website and submit your application. If you are looking for a job after graduation, here is something you might want to attend. On Sunday, the Malone Center is hosting the Communications, Marketing, and Design Employers Connection event in Furman Hall 101 at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. You will connect and network with employers in the field of communications, marketing, and design. You have lots of opportunities to catch up on your CLPs next week. On Tuesday, the CLP C.S. Lewis's Biggest Ideas will have a speaker discuss how influential Lewis was. It will be from 12:30 to 1:30 in the Chapel Garden Room. Then on Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in Burgess Theater, the CLP What is Justice will take place. The CLP will be a panel discussion on what social justice means to them and why it is important. The event will explore questions about advocacy and activism. Then, on Thursday from 5 to 6:15 p.m. in McEachern Lecture Hall, the CLP Gender, Identity, Expression, and Action will navigate gender identity and gender equality. Turning to sports now, here's Ella Grogan with your sports highlights, more information about the SoCon, and an insight into club sports at Furman.
Thanks, Alyssa. Lots of exciting things going on in sports. First, our Lindsay Caps has information on how you can get involved in sports here on campus.
That's right, Ella. Club sports are a great way to get involved on campus, find a great group of friends, and find a supportive community, all while playing your favorite sport.
Even during the COVID years, club sports were a huge support to students like Anna Burns, a club volleyball player.
We were freshmen during COVID, so there wasn't really a lot of stuff going on, but club volleyball was still able to practice. But definitely having that group of girls in a time where it felt like you weren't really supposed to go out and make friends. It was a great way to just kind of get more involved in campus and make connections with some upperclassmen because I didn't think that I would be able to do that when I first got to campus.
Creating a community is exactly what club sports do. Furman has 21 club sports for students to choose from, and they all provide connections, leadership opportunities, and much more. Genevieve Messina is captain of the club swim team.
Without this sport, I wouldn't have had this leadership opportunity at Furman, and so I'm really appreciative of the sport for that. And the other thing I really like about swimming is at these practices, I'm seeing the same faces every week.
Genevieve is building relationships that she wouldn't have otherwise.
And there's one student in particular who's a freshman, his name's Thomas, and last semester he and I both couldn't go to one of the practices every week because of our class schedule. And so he and I would go to the pool after our class together and practice, just the two of us. And at first it was really inconvenient, but it ended up being like a blessing in disguise because it was a day where we really pushed each other and pushed ourselves, and I wouldn't have had the chance to build that relationship without that experience.
Emmy Edwards, a club tennis player, even met her best friend through the group.
She and I, we never really knew each other freshman year, even though we were on the team together. But then as soon as COVID restrictions kind of let up, we started talking, and now we have become best friends. And so obviously I have club tennis to thank for that.
These club sports are all great opportunities to get involved on campus. I personally did not want to stop playing tennis when I graduated high school, so I joined club tennis here. And you can too. For more information, go to Furman's website at furman.edu. This is Lindsay Capps reporting for Nightly News.
Thank you, Lindsay. It is so important to get involved on campus, and club sports definitely help in breaking out of your friendship bubbles. That brings us right into our first highlight from men's club lacrosse. It was a tight game against Elon the whole game as they went into a golden goal overtime. Matt McGee had this beautiful game-winning shot to bring home the win with a score of 7-6. Great game, guys. We had two very tight men's basketball games this week. You gotta see some of the action. First, on Wednesday, they took on ETSU. Tyrese started off the game strong just a few minutes in with this beautiful three. Just a few minutes later, Ben Vanderwall hits another amazing three. I said it a few weeks ago, and I'll say it now. This kid is definitely one of the best freshmen of the year. It was a night of threes with just a few seconds on the shot clock left. Bothwell kicks it out to Williams, and he sinks yet another three. And with just a few minutes left, Jalen Slauson silences the crowd with that crazy dunk. The Paladins won with a score of 83-79. The guys' next game against Mercer was unlike anything I've ever seen. The two teams totaled up 43 fouls throughout the night. Both teams spent a lot of time at the free throw line, but we have a few highlights for you to check out. Our defense had a great game last night. Check out this great steal by Marcus Foster. Look at this great ball movement right here as Garrett Hine drives to the net for this amazing layup. Jalen Slauson had a great game, scoring 27 points. Here he puts up two and gets another one from the foul. He does the same thing yet again a few minutes later. Take a look at this. The guys ended up pulling off a close win with a score of 70-67. Great job, guys. Now let's see the scores for our women's team. Furman lost two heartbreakers, one against ETSU 63-66 and Chattanooga 63-70. Let's see how they respond on Saturday. As our basketball teams head down the stretch to the SoCon Tournament, Michael Davis has all the information you should know before tip-off in Asheville.
10 teams for men's, 8 teams for women's, and only one of each will win the SoCon Tournament and punch their ticket into the NCAA March Madness.
Let's look at the women's first. This team has faced a lot of adversity this season, but they plan to put that all away and focus on making each other better for Asheville.
Take it one game at a time, one day at a time, one practice at a time, and just try to get back to championship like last year.
The vision right now is to just keep gelling and keep growing together closer because our league is super neck and neck right now. Everybody's beating everybody, and it really could be anybody's game come tournament time.
Furman has a very difficult tournament ahead of them, being seeded in the bottom half. But this veteran team knows what it takes to make it to the championship. As the women's team aim to make a run to shock the league, our men's squad travels to Samford this Saturday to determine the regular season champion. Head coach Bob Ritchie says he's trying to keep his team focused on what matters.
From this point forward, man, it's a bunch of 1-0 seasons, right? You just got to, it's one game seasons. You got to figure out a way to go 1-0.
SoCon Player of the Year candidate Mike Bothwell speaks on his mindset going into this huge matchup.
To me, I just try to take every game as a one-game season, because from here on out, that's pretty much what it is. You know, one loss could cost us the first place seed, and then it's going to be the same way when we get to the conference tournament. One loss could knock us out.
Although the tournament lands on our spring break, Furman athletics officials hope to see the student body make the trip an hour north to cheer on the Dins.
We're going to keep working on creative ways to have the Southern Conference Tournament be more of a focus for the students in terms of their time and resources as we work towards the future.
Once both teams' seeds are determined, expect an email from Furman Athletics telling you how to go support the Paladins. From Timmons Arena, I'm Michael Davis. Ella, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. The SoCon Tournament starts on Thursday, March 2nd for the women's and Friday, March 3rd for the men's. For more information, you can visit FurmanPaladins.com. Moving to softball, the Dins came up short against Townsend 2-4. Furman turned it around and defeated Bellarmine 5-1. We saw an explosive game against Gardner-Webb, but the Bulldogs outlasted Furman 10-12. Let's look at our tennis scores. On the women's side, Furman defeated Florida Atlantic 4-2. Furman got a solid win over Yale 5-2, putting our women's team at a 3-game winning streak. For the men's team, they lost to UAB 1-6, but quickly turned it around to defeat Tennessee Tech 4-3. The men's team has a game against Georgia Southern on Saturday at 10 o'clock, and the ladies have a huge match against Arizona this Friday. Be sure to tune in to both of those. The men's basketball team has a lot on the line this weekend as they play Sanford for the first place spot in the SoCon Tournament. Make sure to tune into your TVs to watch the action go down at 1 o'clock. Please join us in wishing the Furman track team the best of luck at the SoCon Championship this weekend. We are looking forward to getting those results soon. For now, I'm Ella Grogan with sports. Back to you, Alyssa.
Thanks, Ella. In case you missed it, here's a look into the Mardi Gras celebration that took place this past Tuesday.
Happy Mardi Gras! Furman's Student Advisory Board had an amazing Mardi Gras celebration with live music, great food, and great friends this past Tuesday. So we hope you enjoyed your beignets in this delicious hurricane juice before Ash Wednesday just began.
This is all we have for you tonight. Thank you for watching this episode of the Nightly News. I'm your host, Alyssa Hildenbrandt. We'll leave you now with more scenes from our Mardi Gras celebration. Have a great night, everyone.